Ouais, ouais, il va se marier bientôt.
Yeah. Before I start to speak a little bit about the Parsha Vayishlach, this week we started last week, I mean, on Thursday night, we started the same Talmud Teleprocha. And I know it, I'm sorry, sometimes it's a bit, but it's a subject which I would like to share with you because these words come often in our lives and we don't know what it is. I also didn't know until I went into the subject. And we always talked about the Tekufos, and I would like to just spend a little bit of time in the Tekufos and also share with you, maybe I've never done that, but share with you inside the Rosh, a letter that the Rosh wrote, which is quite strong against what we are doing, and that you know a little bit the history of the issues and the controversial parts of when to start saying the Saint Talmud Teleprocha. First of all, there are two elements in our davening, Neshwan Esser. We are maskirim geshomim and we are shoyalim geshomim. There's the shailim, there's the maskirim. Maskirim is what when you say, Mashiv Ruach Mored HaGeshem. That's just maskirim, we don't ask. We just remind Kodesh Baruch is a Mashiv Ruach Mored HaGeshem. This we do straight away after Shmini Atzeres. There's no shaila, that's clear. But the shoyalim, the tefillah, the same Talmud Teleprocha, where we ask him, please give us, there is a big machloekes in the Gemara. When should we start? So some say we should already very quickly after Chag. Others say no, we should wait till Zayin Macheshvan, as we do today in Eretz Yisrael. I think is in order to give to the people that come to Oile Regel Zan time to go back home and to be able to not to have the rain on them when they travel back to their homes, the Har Pros. It's interesting that the Har Pros, I think, is in Iraq, is in Bovel, the Etzem. The Har Pros is in Bovel. What? I think so. The Efrat is in Bovel. And the problem with that is that a lot of poskim hold that there is no aliyah leregel when you live in Chutz. You have to have a karka in Eretz Yisrael. You have to live in Eretz Yisrael in order to have a mitzvah aliyah leregel. And it seems that from this meiser, it seems that a lot of people from Bovel used to come and be oil regel. And because they were waiting till Har Pros, they should not wait till Har Pros, they should wait till they come to Ammon and Moav, I don't know, not the West Bank, the East Bank of Eretz Yisrael. So it's a bit interesting that the Har Pros is, it goes against the halachic, there is a lot to pilpul, how come that we're waiting for Har Pros? Yeah, because it does not fit with those who hold that there is no aliyah regel when you are in Chutz, unless, even if you don't have to, but people used to do it anyway. A lot of people traditionally came after Eretz Yisrael. Also, as we shall see, that even in that some of the Goinim explain that the reason why we are today also doing on the 7th of Heshvan, although there is no Beis HaMikdash, is because a lot of Jews used to come up even after the Churban, in the time of the Goinim, and do Aliyah L'Regel, as today also. Today, a lot of people go for Yom Tov to Eretz Yisrael. They consider it a little bit as an Aliyah L'Regel.
I say even by Mitzvah, a lot of people go to the Koisel.
To the Koisel, exactly, yeah. People do it kind of an Aliyah L'Regel. And so apparently they were. There is a Manda Omar that in the Gemara in the Bavli that says that in Bovel they do 60 days after the Tkufa. And the explanation for that shitta is that because in Bovel, after the Tkufa, and I will explain. So normally, rain in Tishrei is not a good thing. We don't want rain on Tishrei. We don't want rain in the summer. Why? Because after we've cut the wheat is on the floor. And what we do is normally, apparently, they used to wait for the sun to dry. It has to dry first before you take it in the house. I don't know why it can't be dried in the house, but that's what I used to do, and that's why it's called Chaka Osif. So the Ksira was already on Pesach and Shavuos, and between Shavuos until Sukkot, people used to leave the wheat on the floor, in bundles, on the floor, waiting for the sun to should dry completely, and then they used to take it in and do whatever they have to do. And so if the rain would fall on that moment, it would ruin the whole purpose, right? The whole idea is to dry and then there is rain. So Tishri, we did not want to have rain in this period. But in Bovel, they used to leave it longer. So apparently they used to cut it later and they used to leave it longer. The whole cheshbon was also still apparently, the wheat was still in cheshbon on the field. And so therefore in Bovel, they did not want you to daven for motor. So basically, probably even the Goyim, who were also religious, said, we're not davening for rain until the winter starts. But as long as there is still wheat on the fields, we did not do it. So that is the logic why in Bovel they said 60 days. Like this, we are sure that it's already empty, the fields are empty, and now we can daven for the rain. It's Chas v'sholom, the rain should not fall on the places. Now, there is a lot of minhagim that existed, that in when the Rosh writes down that he passed in Provincia, Montpellier, c'est la province, Montpellier? Yeah. Shoyo maskirim ageshomim. What? La Provence. La Provence is Montpellier, and there they used to maskirim geshomim bezayin b'macheshbon. So they also did like in Eretz Yisrael. So basically, in all of France, Narbonne, and in all of France, Befrankia, he says here, the Rav Amram, we say the Rav Amram, which was with the Goyim, B'chol mokoim shesoisim in amoto como Eretz Yisrael, Ufrankia, like Eretz Yisrael in France, umispalil tal moto b'shiva b'macheshbon. So France had a particular minhag to do like in Eretz Yisrael.
But when we daven here in Belgium, we daven Saint Muto of Saint Bofo. We don't daven for Belgian rains. We daven for Israel rain.
Oh, so that's now has become kind of the but also no. Then we should have daven the rain in that Israel. The daven already signed the machesh.
So when we daven Saint Bofo,
no,
we daven for here.
So it does not make sense. What we are doing, basically, what I want to say today, does not make sense for multiple reasons. First of all, the whole halacha that we are doing in 60 days after the Tekufos does not make sense. And the second thing is that the Tekufos that we use to calculate, it does not make sense. So basically my shia is that the whole concept is, it does not make sense unless you want to say that this is what Chazal told us and we follow what Chazal tell us. So basically, and Chazal means the Rosh HaKols from some of the communities, as we shall see, because the Rosh tried to break that. So basically in France and in Africa, the Bnei Africa, v'chach minhag Bnei Africa. So the whole, I guess Africa means the north of Africa. They all used to do like in Eretz Yisrael the 7th. And in the Gemara is mentioned that in Bovel, they used to wait till 60 days after the Tekufos. So it's about 60 days is about the 22nd of November. Yeah, kind of, it should be more or less.
What's 22nd of November?
Sorry?
What's the date?
That's where I will come. That's my second part. So first, let's start with the whole din itself. So the Rosh had a big problem, and I will read to you a little bit. I will go through that. The Rosh wrote a tshuva, and he wrote even the tshuva. You shall see the Rosh wrote the tshuva on Chol Hamoed. Although normally you're not allowed to write on Chol Hamoed, but he said that this is so important for him. It's like an union of Chilul Hashem that he said he's going to write it anyway. Although that he knew that he lost the war. Yeah, he did not win. But there was a year where there was a lot of problems of rain. It was a year where in France, there was a lot of problems in rain. And apparently, although in the time of the Goinim, they used to already daven Mesin Talmoto Livrocha from the 7th of Cheshbon, like in Eretz Yisrael, it seems that this very quickly changed. And in all of France, they did on the 60th, like we do today. And the Rosh came to France, and he was passing, and he said, something is wrong here. Because they needed rain, and it didn't rain until Pesach. It didn't rain. It was very dry. And he says, why do we stop after Pesach? Why can't we continue between Pesach and Shavuos? So the Rosh wanted to add, and he says here, it was Vayi b'shnas chamisha alofim v'shivim v'sholosh lebriye. It was 5073, which is 700 years ago, exactly, more than 700 years ago. There was not a lot. ויהי בליל ראשון של פסח, אחרי תפילת ערבס, ואדוני אובי לראש, או יושב על פסח בישראל, he was sitting, ואנחנו קצת מהחברים, עומדים מולו בימינו משמאלו, we with him, and we see that he is busy. And he said, Ato yotov le'oyer hadover asher moilom tomati od. Now is maybe the good time to come out with it, to say what bothered me. Lo molo yaskiru v'yash'ilu hageshem at Shavuos. So the first point is, why can't we daven for rain till Shavuos? What's the problem? What's the problem? V'yanu k'tzas me'achaverim, toivu shetadi hadover l'skenim. You should go, we're talking about the Rosh, so go to the skenim, to the Rosh HaKol of the Machzik Hadas, to the Vav, v'yasukein, v'yosher beinehem. Vayishalchu, so what they did, Vayishalchu lechazn beis HaKnesset, la'askir lemocher hageshem. So in the shul that he davened, the Shliach Tzibur, he said, tomorrow you should still ask, it was Chol HaMoed, I guess, you should say the same Talmud Levrocha, even on the first day of Chol HaMoed, Pesach. Vayasukein, v'yaskiru b'nei HaKnesset HaGdole, Hayud Gimel Midas. They even made, he not only said, he sent Talmud Levrocha, but he even said Tachanun, because we need it. It was mamish kuach nefesh. It was a problem. We needed it. So even on Chol HaMoed, vahi koil yizkiru v'hine rash miktzas hachachomim asher lo yehoy hadover ba'atzoso. There was a rash. There was a gratchke. A lot of people started shouting. V'yatzi kol leimar shelo hoy roy laskiroi shesimen klol. It's a simen klola. We do not mention motor after Pesach. He was stuck, he was very upset, and he did not open his mouth. He couldn't open his mouth. And then he started to write down a Megillah Sefer. And this is now he brings down, I don't think that we have the Sefer anymore, but we have from his son the subject. וכבר יומים רבים באשכנז נזרמתי על שני דבורים שרואיסטי שנהגי ביומים מולולו, או אחד שאינם שאלים הגשומים כציקות. We do not ask, מסית על מוטר ווחר like we should. ואף אגב דברים פרק עמד תניה בגוילה עד סמך יום התקופה, like Hanani says that in the Goyla they used to say 60 days after the Kufa, ואמם בכל מילסלה זינבוך שחך מבובל. Normally we should go after the Chachmei from Bovel. So the Rosh says that if the Chachmei Bovel hold and the Chachmei Israel, we are in Golus today. Today Golus we do like the Bavli. Yeah, the Gemara the Bovel Chashvin Iker. Yeah, Bovel is more important than Eretz Israel in halachic cases. Hanemile bedover Isra behette bechir b'ptur tumme v'tahar. אבל דובר התולה בצורך השור, ואין בו שינו לעבר על דברי תורה. Whether we say this at our motor later, it doesn't change the halacha, and it's something that we need. רואי לילך אחר השונים במקומות והזמן. Then you should adapt to the situation, the place where you are, in the day that you are. The Bovel shochenes על מים רבים. Maybe Bovel there was a lot of water there, the Eufrat and they didn't need rain so much. They had the rivers. The rivers, but a country that has rivers doesn't need so much rain. It can irrigate through the rivers. But a country like Israel that does not have, or maybe like France, I don't know, apparently did not have some areas where, I don't know. אוי, הזמן הזה רמוך בבובל. אבל בארץ אשכנז, שזמן, equals אשכנז means like we do, France and Germany, שזמן הזרע הוא מחצי תשרי ואילו, הדובו ידוע שאם לא ירדו גשומים מיד אחר הזרע שהוא מסקלקל, שאויפויס והאחבורים יאכלו כולו, because apparently they only planted in September. And so if we were not done for rain, then the zera would stay and then the birds would eat it. They didn't have the mice. The mice, they didn't have yet in Spanish they call it the Spanta Pájaros, the mother used to teach. The yeah. לא נעשה כבני ארץ ישראל, ששואל המקשום במחשבון קרם גם זה. כי בדבר הזה אין מחלוקת בין בני בוב ובין בארץ ישראל, שיתנו אילו טעם לדבריהם שרואים לעשות כך, ואילו נעשים טעם לדבריהם שרואים לעשות כך, אלא שבוב לא עושים כפי הצורך להם. Why did they do against the Mishnah, against the Tanoim? Because they understood that for them, it's better to rain later. It means, in other words, that for us, raining is better earlier, we should do earlier. והמשנה שאומרת ששעון ומאחז ומשנס בארץ ישראל כפי הצורך להם. והוא הולך ומערך במסה ומתן של הלוכה להוכיח צדוקה בדברו. ושוב הוא מערך בתאים על המנהג השני, שמפסיקים מלשאול בפסח, ושור שהדבר ידוע שבאשכנז עיקר קיום התפור היא על ידי הגשומים שבין פסח לעצרת. אין המשנה ראי, שהמשנה מדבר על ארץ ישראל כפי צורכו, שיגיע לספרד. כשהגיע לספרד, when he went down and he came to Spain, שיוסף צריך גשומים פסח לעצרת, אלא שם לאו. עד שרוקי ונסין הגשומים נצחו ונסקלקו לעזרוי, אז אומר לי, ליבי עתו הגיע העס לסקם מה שניסי וביום הרב מרבים, כי ודאי שישמיע לו בסורה כזאת, כן ודאי יוסף, אלא שהיצא סליבום בעשר איבו הסדרתו מאחוריו. סוף דבו, ורוסק היתו עשה והכל בלתי קבל ממני דברי אלוקים חיים, גם אני חוזרתי בי, he says, since I saw that it was too much of evil, I decided not. גם אני חוזרתי בי מלשאול להזכיר בית הכנסת, שאני מספלל בו, ואף על פי שאיסי יוכל לשאול, מקום לא איסי לעשות אגודס אגודס, לא איסי כוסף בכל המועד. ולא איסי כוסף בכל המועד, אלא שצורך שהוא מפני חילול שם שמיים, וגם יש בדבר הזה קצת מצורך המועד. So basically, he more is arguing on why do we stop on Pesach, but the same is true is why shouldn't we start before, and because the Samach Yom, he speaks about the Samach Yom, was only by chance a problem in Bovet, and in Europe we should start whenever it is. So basically, that was the Rosh. The Rosh tried, and it was not successful. Basically, he was not successful in changing, and as we shall see, it seems to be something which has a fundament in Judaism. So why do we need to know? So the second question is, when is the Tkufa? So what is the word Tkufa? Tkufa means a season. Yeah, there are Arba Tkufas Vashono. It's 4 seasons. That we also have the 4 seasons. And the word Tkufa is like Chodesh. The word Chodesh is sometimes is the month, and sometimes the word Chodesh can also mean Rosh Chodesh, is a day. So in the Torah, Mocho Chodesh means tomorrow is the Rosh Chodesh. The word Chodesh can be used as the month, but also can be used as the first day of the month. Rosh Chodesh is also called Chodesh. The same thing is with Tkufa. That Tkufa means a season, but sometimes we say the Tkufa means the day that the season starts. Yeah, the same concept. I don't know why, but that's how we don't say Rosh Tkufa. We say the Tkufa. Although the word Tkufa means a season, but we mean the first day of the season. You understand? Yeah. So when is the Tkufa starting? So first of all, why do we have to know? Why is it written in the calendar of the Masikadas, of the Yeshiva Vilreich? It says when the Tkufas are. The next Tkufa will be, Tkufas Teves will be on the 6th of January at 1630. Yeah? Why do I have to know when the Tkufa is? Why is it printed? So there is a Remo, which we don't do anymore, but there is a Remo. It says we should not drink water around that period. We should not drink water around that period. There's a Remo.
Water does stay open overnight, you mean? Or?
No, just water. So we don't know. It says not to drink water. It was a minute not to drink water. It's a sakona. So in the Remo brings down the Shulchan Aruch. So half an hour before, half an hour after, 1 hour before, 1 hour after, but around that period, the person should not drink water. And it's very interesting that we don't do it. We as Ashkenazim don't do it, but apparently by the Sfard, they are extremely makbet. And there are, on the internet, you can find websites that say that you can die, and it's ganze that if you drink water on this time, you should not drink water. Well, yeah, cooker. And then we as Ashkenazim, we forgot, you don't even know about it. None of you knew that we don't drink water. But apparently the Sfardim, they do keep it very, very, and therefore they ask shilas, etc. There is a din that if you put metal in the water, it protects the water. It protects the water from harming. Now, this we don't do anymore, either because it's, and we shall see, the reason why, we don't know the reason why. And what I've seen as one of the nicest reasons is the Goinim that bring down, it is Simone Ba'alma. And the way I understand the Simone Ba'alma means, like on Rosh Hashanah, we eat nice things, so that the year should start good. So when the Tkufa is a new Tkufa, there are some hold that there is a malach for each Tkufa. When there is a change of the changes of the gods, then it's a moment of sakona. And we want a good Tkufa. We don't drink water. Water is maybe symbolizes anius, and you should drink wine. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that you're not allowed to drink water, but water at that moment is like drinking, like eating nuts on Rosh Hashanah. It's a siman ra. So we want to drink only things which are nice. And when you drink it from a kos of metal, when you're golden or silver kos, then the water maybe, that's how I understand. You understand what I'm saying? It comes from to drink something with ashirus, not with anius, not dalus. It's water is.
So water was very dangerous at that time for the today.
Yeah, some explain like that. And when you put metal, you kill the germs.
But why did you put the water?
What? Sorry.
They used to put wine or alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol
to
clean it. It's. I never heard anybody that doesn't drink water. Did you hear anybody? I never heard anybody that doesn't drink water. By the Swadimir.
But is it also then? Is this something a lot of Maim Shalom that it was?
No. This is mine. No, mine Magulim.
Yeah.
Mine Magulim in the night. That's something else also. Yeah, but these are separate. These are also together in the same context. I think it's in the same simon.
But what implications did they have?
What? Sorry.
In terms of Besamikdash, did they have any implications about?
So the Tkufa has another very important element, which is that you need to know when is Tkufas Nisan, because Pesach has to fall after Tkufas Nisan. Pesach has to fall. Sorry.
After the 3 months.
After the day where the Tkufas, then the spring starts. So Pesach has to fall on after. Now already, I have particularly. I think I even have. One of the years that I took from the calendar, where you clearly see that Pesach does actually fall on. It falls before even the Tkufa. Sorry.
But the 6th of January, the Tkufa is over, like the spring, or
no. That starts the winter.
Oh.
The 6th of January is the winter start. In our calendar, it's on the 22nd of. In our calendar, it's on the 22nd. Sorry? 21 ou 22, ça dépend, non, je pense. Okay, I don't have it here, but apparently Pesach this year, by chance, I checked, it's on Chof Nissen. So the Tkufas Nissen is exactly at midnight. It's on Dalet Cholamoid. So Pesach starts after the Tkufa. So in other words, the first day, the first Seder night is still in the winter.
Yeah.
According to, if you look in the Vilreich Tkufas. So that's already a problem. Okay? So that's already a problem, but I will explain that the problem is not a real problem. It's an artificial problem. So that's one thing. There is another element. So we need to know when the calendar is, and we also and of course we need to know for the Vesent when is it Kufa. Now, to explain what the Tkufa is and how people used to understand the Tkufa is very simple. As I explained you already, if you have a window that faces the east where the sun comes up, and you put every morning, you put a little line on the window with a marker where the sun comes up, you will notice that the sun moves till a certain period, till a certain level, and then it goes back. When it goes and it comes back, and then it goes continuously, then you know 1 year has passed. This is a solar year. The moment that it's on one extreme and the moment that it is on the other extreme is also Tkufa. Yeah, it's when the days is the shortest and when the days is the longest. That's the day, the exact day. So you can calculate easily when is the exact, whether it is the 21st of December.
But then you know only 2 Tkufas.
And the rest is in the middle. So when you have a lot, if you can make, to know even without a lot how to make, remember, you have to make a line like that and a line like that and a line like that and a line like that. And then you do the connecting, then you find the exact middle point. Yeah. So you know how to do the middle point as well. And then it's easy to know. Now, for some reason, which I cannot explain you, is Shmuel, one of the Amoraim, he said, you know what, I'll give you a calculation. I'll give you a calculation how to calculate the Tkufa. Although we don't need, because we can measure it. But he says, no, I will give you a calculation. And the calculation is actually very simple. He takes, this is the calculation. He says the year is 365 and a quarter, divided by 4. And whenever it is, when the Tkufa is here, then you know it's 91 days and 7.5 hours later is the next Tkufa. 91 days and 7.5 later is the next Tkufa, and it goes on and on and on. This is how you do it. This is solar year. Yeah. So he says this is the way that you calculate the Tkufa. What?
Tkufa is based on solar.
Yeah, only solar. There is no moon. The moon is completely irrelevant in this case. Yeah, we're not talking about. So that's what Shmuel did. It gave us a very easy to use system, although it's not correct for the simple reason, for two reasons it's not correct. That the etzem, the spring and the autumn are not equal. Yeah, the summer and the spring are longer than the winter and the autumn. So first of all, why? Because the world is in an ellipse. Yeah, the world is going around an ellipse, not in a circle. And so for some reason when it's closer, it goes quicker, and the closer is the winter. Normally, you will think that the closer is the summer, but it's not like that. It's the winter is when the Earth is closer to the sun, apparently. Anyway, so that's one problem, and the second problem is that it is not exactly 365,24, but there is a difference of 11 minutes. So there is a difference of 11 minutes. So the Tekufos Shmuel, according to him, was maybe correct on his year when he was living, but after 128 years, yeah, there's an 11 minutes. After 128 years, there's a difference of a day. So the Tkufa moves up.
But in the Goyish thing, you have a Skikaliya.
Yeah, but that's every 4 years. Every 4 years, and then Gregorius, so what happened is that Gregorius also noticed that the system was wrong, because if they always use 21st December to be the Tekufos, for example, he noticed when he did this calculation that it shifts, because after 1,000 years, it can shift about eight days. And he noticed, hey, it's already tells me that it's the Tkufa, but I see that the sun is still on his way. It's got another 8 days till it passes. So the difference became very noticeable. And so Gregorius, he adapted, he added, or he removed, I remember, he made a correction of 10 days. Suddenly the year jumped and had another, I don't know, I think that he removed 10 days. And the second thing is what he did is he readapted the calculation, not every 4 years, but it's every 4 years, and by every 100 years or 200, I don't remember anymore, and every 400 years, you understand what I'm saying? They made the rules to make it a little bit correcter. So according to the Gregorian calendar that we have today, it's 3,000 years correct. After 3,000 years, it's a day shift. So for 3,000 years, we are relaxed, yeah? And after 3,000 years, we'll have to readapt maybe. Après nous le déluge, exactly. Yeah. But that means that we have an issue of 11 minutes and 14 seconds in our way that we calculate. So Shmuel told us, yeah, I'll tell you how. And the Tkufa, he gave us, there was a starting point of the Tkufa. And since then, we always go on and on and on, and we add. And after 1,300 years, it's already 10 days of difference between what it was correct in Shmuel and now it is today. So today you will notice it is on the 6th of January, while it should be on the 21st of January. The real astronomical winter starts on the 21st, I don't know. And if you look in the Wilrijk, the calendar, they say the 6th of January.
This is the Shmuel count.
Because they counted like Shmuel.
Yeah.
And that's why also, when I said that it can happen that Pesach falls before the Tekufos of Shmuel, that's okay, as long as it does not fall before the 21st of March. Because then we would have a serious issue. And once I gave you a shear that I never proved it 100%, but 99% I proved it, that in the beginning, in the time of the Goyim, the Pesach could even fall before the spring started. Because by us, in our calendars today, it mamish touches sometimes. The earliest that Pesach can be is the 23rd. So it's already very close. And since we moved 10 days, it means that if you go back, it could have been before. So Pesach could fall before. And that my theory, that's why the Christians, they disconnected with us. Because it was at the same time when we introduced this calendar, and they realized that the Pesach, they waited for us. They waited on the Sanhedrin, and they waited on the Jews to tell when is Pesach. But then they saw, 1 second, when we changed and we went into this calendar from Reb Sadia Goy, it could happen that Pesach fell in the winter, exceptionally. And then they said, those people, ce sont des enfoirés, and they did not do it correctly. And so they decided to disconnect, and they do it according to the rules. After the 21st of March, the first full moon, the Shabbos after, is Pesach. Okay, so they do it according to the correct astronomical Tkufa. By us, we have our calendar, yeah, and it could have happened. Today, it never happens. Today, we are okay. Every time Pesach falls always after the Tkufa, the real astronomical. But 1,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, it could have happened, and therefore it's a problem for them. Then the Kuzari speaks about it. The Kuzari says that no, they did not understand. We don't mean the Tkufa astronomical Tkufa. We mean the Tkufa spiritual Tkufa. So he gives it. Anyway, I'm not going to give the shiur that I gave at the time. But in any case, so that's how it works today. Now, it means, in other words, that also Birkas HaChamo is the same. Birkas HaChamo is also the Tkufa. With Birkas HaChamo, you're going to do every 28 years because it's a very simplified system. So he has 28 years. According to that system, every 28 years, the system, the cycle comes back to the original path. Yeah, so you, on the same day of the week, the Tkufa falls on the same day of the week and on the same time, because it's a very, very logic. It always moves a bit, and after a certain time, it moves so much that it moves back to the original path. It takes 28 years. And so that's when we do Birkas HaChamo. But we should know it's not the right Kufa. It is a simplified Kufa that worked for 200 years, but after 1,000 years, it shifts. So my question is, why don't we, if according to the Rosh, who already is against the system, and we said no, but it said 60 days after the Tkufa, why do we use the Tkufa from Shmuel? Why can't we say, let's use 60 days after the real Tkufa? You understand my question? Today we use the Tkufa of Shmuel, so it's already late, and it's getting later and later. Yeah, every 128 years. So in other words, we are saying less v'sein talmot lepochot than Rashi used to say. Yeah, because we're always delaying a day. Yeah, every 100 years. So why don't we go back and we do like the Halacha, 60 days after the Tkufa? Which Tkufa? The Tkufa from the sun. Then we would gain at least 10 days. My chiddush that I want to say today, and it's more as a joke, not much as a joke, but the reason why there is global warming, is because we continuously say v'sein talmot later. You understand? Because we daven for motor, we tend to we daven less and less for motor. And so therefore the world doesn't have enough winter. We don't accept the winter. We down for the winter much later. And so the world responds. The world responds. Seriously, it's there. The halacha is like that. That if somebody davens Central Motor Librocha too early, he has to daven again because it's a klola. We assume that this tefillah from a yochid, somebody in the St. Vincentius-straat or the next Steenweg davens Central Motor Librocha. Chazal say, oh no, you have to daven again because maybe you will bring the rain on the wrong time. So Chazal assume that the tefillah even from a yochid can have an impact. So if Kol Klal Yisrael davens Central Motor Librocha every time a little bit less and less and less, because theoretically after 10,000 years, we will only say the Central Motor 2 days or 1 day. At some point, we won't even say it anymore because we will be, it's going to be Erev Pesach. And after a while, we will say the whole year the Central Motor till the next Pesach. So basically,
that maybe in your question,
yeah,
the fact that in the first at the end of time the guy would say, "Wow, what a smart and big, and what he did is the counting of the stars and so exactly what you're doing, knowing that we do all wrong.
We do it all wrong. Exactly.
So maybe answering that question, maybe.
We'll also give that.
That's a key point in our Torah.
Yeah. Because it's the Gilgulim, the Gilgulim of our knowledge of astronomy.
We answer your question as well.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. I don't have an answer, so but it's a question. Why don't we go? If let's go tackle to the real scoop and let's finish off. Let's go do it. The answer is not giving an answer on astronomy, but that is the Torah today. I will give you in a few weeks. There is Asura B'Teves. Asura B'Teves is going to be in a few weeks. I don't remember which date. It's also the beginning of January, no?
It's the 30th December.
What?
30 December.
30 December?
So, after the wedding.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Asura B'Teves in Antwerp has a fantastic chiddush that I would like to share with you. There was a rov in London which was called Rabbeinu Tad. He was the rov of my father in his shul in Israel, and he was the grandfather of the rov from the Shomrat, his grandfather. I remember I went to visit him with my wife when we got married, my shver closely. He was a fantastic, unbelievable human being. Mamish Mushlam. He had a sense of humor, and he also was extremely strong, and he knew he had shoulders, as they say, halachic shoulders. And not only look, but also the color. And that's what we will see now, something very, very important. I want to explain to you something very important. So he says like that. There is a din, there are some Rishonim that pasken that you have the Netzach Hammer, and 72 minutes before the Netzach Hammer is the Alois HaShachar. There are some poskim who hold that 72 minutes before the Netzach Hammer is always Alois HaShachar, independent of where you live. And independent in the summer, in the winter, 72 minutes, the clock that we have, 72 hour minutes is Alois HaShachar. And so he said the following. Imagine that the Netz in Asera B'Teves, I checked it, the Netz is at 8:47. 8:47 is the Netz on the 30th of December. If you take off 72 minutes of the Netz HaHammer, is how much? 7:35. Yeah, 35 because that's what, 35. So he says that you can eat till 7:35. Why? Because so the tail is only the Rabbonon. And the Rabbonon go to Kula. And since you have a machloiket in time, so why do you have to go to the Homo Dikri? Go to the Kula Dikri. You can use the most Kula Dikri time that helps you. So you're allowed to go to Kula.
What's the quantity time?
No, it's the 6:57, 56. The calendar will write, they say 6:56, and he would say 7:35.
But the quality time is on when it's off.
No, because then the 72 minutes is much shorter. It's not our 72 minutes, but it's Shozmanius. As the day is much shorter, an hour is only half an hour. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like 70 minutes is much shorter. The real Zman Yazdik is 74 minutes. That's why they come to 6. But so he says it's 7:30. No, actually, it's not nothing to do with that because it should be opposite then. Okay, but it's different calculation. So it comes out to 7:35. Now, where is the chiddush? Where is the big chiddush, which is the contradiction? Is if you look on the calendar, they don't have here a calendar. They don't have the Wilrai calendar hanging. The Zman Tfilin, when you can put on Tfilin, 7:31. So imagine that. That's Zman Tfilin, which is already when it's light, which is Mashiach, it's already light. It's 7:31. You put on Tfilin on a set of the tables, and you can stick it for 4 minutes. You understand what I'm saying here? So, according to Rapat, you can eat till 7:35, and still, while it's already light outside, because you can put on tefillin at 7:31. And so it's not even alois, it's already much later than alois. It's man Mashiach is later than alois. And so here we have a steer. How can you put on tefillin and eat? So they asked Rabbeinu Padre, and they asked him, but I don't understand, it's already light outside. So he answered, close the curtain. That's the famous answer, close the curtain. Then it won't be light. What's the problem? So what does he want to say from here? Is that sometimes we are not really interested in the reality. We are not interested in astronomical realities. Once we have a rule, then it is the rule that we, as a religion, if we're going to start based on reality, then you always have a problem. Because first of all, reality changes. And reality is also subjective. Some people will say, no, it is. The other one says it's not, etc. And so therefore there is what we call the idea behind it is that once Hazal make a rule, then the rule should be valid forever. There's a famous chinuch, I always mention it, the famous chinuch that says that Tekufos is a biological issue. Can an animal live a year or not? So basically you should ask the doctors, who should you go for? Who should you go to a Tekufos? To a doctor or you should go to a doctor. But he knows if this animal will live a year or not. Well, we don't. We go to the Rabbonim. The Chinuch says that even if today this animal we know, the Rav says it's a treif, and we leave him, and we see it lives another. I don't know, a cow. I don't know how much a cow lives, yeah, but it lives much longer. We don't care. It was a treif. And in the opposite also, even if we know that there are new diseases and new problems that today the animal cannot live, we know 100% he's got only 1 month to live. We check it kosher v'yosher. Because it's not anymore the biology that counts. It's once there are rules, the rules that count. And I think this is the Afila means to small you mean does not mean that they make mistake, but it means that the rules are once it has been instituted the rule has to remain. And I want to give you an example because maybe it looks a bit weird, but if you would ask me, Shabbos is for menucha. You have to be menucha. I'm going to ask you a question. What is for you more menucha? Is it to be going to school from 9 to 12 to hear 1,000 gargles of oaths, and then to have to run home and to eat the cholent and the kigel, and then to have to run again to mincha, or like in the winter? Or for me personally, if you ask me, I would say openly, and I know it's recorded, but for me, watch a good Netflix series with a good cook, this is for me more menucha. You understand what I'm saying? Elomai, what is the pshat? That the Torah gives us rules, and the rules have inspired by the menucha. And for some people, the Shabbos today is a menucha, and for some people, the Shabbos is not a menucha. But that's too bad. The Torah was given with rules, and the rules is also part of our way of life. Kedoshim Tio means that you have to live according to the rules, although that the rules are maybe not for you the purpose does not fit the purpose, but otherwise we are becoming reform, and then you lose everything. Then the end is going to Also, yeah. Once we've done it, we never change it. We don't want to change it. We're taking away a tefillin and all kind of things, and parnos from people that we have a day less people that cannot work. So no, but we keep to the rules. The rules are very important, and it's in the Torah already. And it's not only the Rabbanon, because it's already the Torah teaches us. Also, B'cholov, Rambam explained, also B'cholov, at that time, it was Avodah Zorah. Today, somebody eats Bosto B'cholov, it doesn't even come to his mind anything about Avodah Zorah. Yeah, sorry, but nobody that eats.
That's the reason the Torah?
Yeah, so that's a Rambam voice. According to the Rambam. What, sorry?
It's nothing that you are saying. That's why it was.
Yeah. No. We don't. That's the problem with that. That's why you cannot go according to the Tam. Rav Shimon knows that Dosh and Tam are the core. So we have to understand Rav Shimon, but because you never know for sure the real reason behind that. And so basically, to let the ritual.
No, for example, I think that's a good example because for me, I'm not that home or whatever, but I cannot imagine a week without the Shabbat is my thing. I mean, the Shabbat, like where my resting day is the day of it. If I don't have the Shabbat, I need to say, I can see how I will the next week. It's part of it. No, I know like me.
I feel agree. I just
doing a Shabbos with Netflix or co-correct, it's not the Shabbos. It's something that not match the Jewish person, not only the soul but even the body itself. For us to do it, we need Shabbos. We don't need a Netflix for Sunday.
Not Shabbos. Shabbos is Goliath.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's not,
I agree. I 100% agree. There is something in the Shabbos that you cannot. You feel afterwards with the Netflix. You feel what have you done?
You see, it's very good because it's not that you need a Shabbos. Yes, a Shabbos doesn't make any sense. You go to the school, whatever.
Yeah.
It does for your brain. It doesn't make any sense. But by living it,
I understand.
Living it, part of your life. It's not something important. Part of it.
I agree. Once you taste the Shabbos, it's very hard. Even the ones that are going up to better, it's Shabbos, they miss it. I heard once I saw that they miss it. They don't do it, but they know that they are missing.
I an interview of, I would say, stars, not doing that went in France because I could, do the and so on. And they went there invited. They explain it. Not because they were to, no, because we were eating well. We enjoyed the eating, but it was not Shabbat. I mean, it's only that's not our Shabbat. So we not understand what it was. Even part of it.
Although the last pope, not the last pope, said that he wished that they would keep the Shabbos like we do. That we should go, that they should do again. They should go back to the original Shabbos. I remember there's a YouTube. I don't know now. I don't know if maybe it's an AI, but there is a famous YouTube of the previous pope that said that at some day he misses, he's jealous on the Jewish Shabbos.
Okay, whatever. I mean, our way of living, it is not something artificial. Become like you need to live it.
But in any case, we live with rules, and the rules is given for the average person, and that's it. And the rules. That's why it's good to remember the Asor B'Teves, the story, because it's really, if you have to explain to somebody, but I don't understand. This is a perfect example of something which is contradictory. So on one hand, you have the rule that you can eat at 7:35, and on the other hand, you have that you can put on film at 7:31. This is really, I'm going to tear it off and I'm going to stick it to my sefer here. Really a fantastic example of where the rule is the rule, and we don't care about reality. And if you're bothered with the reality, then close your eyes and close the. It's really the power of Rabbeinu Father to say this. I've never heard this before, but it's really a fundament of the. So now you know. So the Tekufos is, you understand now what the Tekufos are. Unfortunately, that the Tekufa that we have today is a Tekufa which does not correspond at all with the real Kufa, and for some reason we prefer to keep the calculated Kufa from Shmuel, and we make as if this is the real Kufa. I asked Ravenko even this morning, and anyway, for him, anyway, I'm not going to. Okay, so the next part I just wanted to add on what I spoke on Friday night is there is something very interesting that Yankov went many times to. Yankov went many times to Esau, and he goes down to him, and he even says to Esau that when I see your face, I see the Pnei Elohim. Now there is Hanifa and there is Hanifa. Yeah. So some want to explain that it's only Hanifa. Yeah. It's how do you call it? Yeah. But he goes here very far. Yeah. To say that it's so according to Manitou, and that's which I understand, you also sometimes have to take it literally. That for Yankov, he looked up to Esau, as we explained already. Esau was a perfect man, also. He was mamish like the Odom, the universal man, the Odom Rishon. He was more because he was born complete. He was born completely in the Meister was done already on him. And so therefore, he really looked up to, continue to look up to Esau. Now, and it's not a fake. There was a real admiration for Esau in general. And he wants to explain that this is why we Jews have a certain admiration for the Western society. We like the Western society. And not only that, we are asking the broker. He asked the broker to the star of Esau, he asked the broker that we also need a broker we want to be appreciated by the Western society. We appreciate European society and we want to be blessed by the European society, that the creation of the Medina of Israel, the creation also had to happen through the European. So we still need the Esau to give us the blessing. We tend to look up to the Western civilization, and we even try to copy them as much as we can, because we believe that they have some kind of perfection, an ideal, and that we need even the creation of the state. If you believe that the creation of the state is the Alta de Gula, it means that we needed an Esau to give a stamp. And today, the truth is that the Europeans continuously are saying Israel has a right to defend itself. In other words, Israel has the right to exist. There is a lot of insight, but in general, the political people, the high level, the leadership of European countries is always saying, no, Israel has a right to exist. It is Ishmael that we have to convince. So this is Mamish at the end, where Yankov begged to Esau. He shows an exaggerated admiration for him. But this is the end, before he goes to Eretz Yisrael, when he goes to visit his father, he asks because one of the big difficulties is why, if he was missing Kibbutz Avraham, why didn't he go straight to his father? Why did he go down to Arseir? So you have to understand, he was in Forum, which is up in the north. He's going down, he passes his father, and he goes down to a. Why did he have to do this people? He could have gone straight to his father, Kibbutz Avraham. As all teaching Kibbutz Avraham, you have to tell that he didn't do the Kibbutz Avraham properly. No. So why did he have to go down all the way to Esau? He needed the approval of Esau. He felt that he felt that we did not have the approval from Esau. The Jewish people need the approval from Edom, from the Europeans, in order to be able to create a state. We needed that, and that's why we were waiting. When we felt that the Europeans were ready to give us this approval, the Zionist movement decided now is the time to go for it, and we asked them and we got it. And that is how they want to explain that whole subject, because otherwise the whole parsha is very strange. Yaakov Avinu Mamish as a Chana, did you hear? I'm going to read it again. I see your face like I see the face of God. Did he have to say such an expression? You believe that, yes, politically maybe. Now because they base themselves on the posture. A lot of the protocols are based on the Bible. So Kirois B'nei Elokim. I see your face, Kirois B'nei Elokim. Well, I don't know. For me, it's such a shocking expression to use. It means that for him, it was really the idea of I need your blessing because you represent the perfection, and only if you can give me the blessing to go back to the spot, then I feel that I have my right to have this, and therefore then I'll go to my father. But unless I don't have this, I feel still not. I don't deserve it yet because I took it away from you in a way which is it didn't feel comfortable. Money too. So it's a very strong message because we see it, unfortunately, but we see that we are always comparing our values to the European values. Sometimes feel that we are the European. I know, but in this case, he explains it that way.
Very, what you say, even from any two, that's not.
I know, but he says it. He does say it from him that I have it.
Not for anything, and we do not even take anything from there. If start thinking better,
then he says, but then he says, once we have a account, then we have to develop our own values, and we have to disconnect from Esau. Then Yaakov leaves Esau, and then he says, okay, now that I have the approval of Esau, I have to develop myself. Then he went away from Esau. So the separation of Esau means that to be mavdil. But first an approval, a blessing of the European, the Western civilization. We have a blessing, and then we go up, and then we create our own.
Whatever, that's something different. But the fact that we compare our values
that's the goal of it. That's why he says. No. Yeah. He calls it the Yankov. The Golosi, he calls it the Golosi that still wants to compare himself to the European because it's still the Yankov. But the Israel is already the one that has his own values and his own ideology. So basically, we saw today that the Central Motor Lebrocha has been a lot of debates in the Rishonim. The Rosh tried to change that. Somehow the rule has been set by the Rosh Kul from many cities in Europe and especially in France to change it from Zayin Cheshvan to 22nd of November. The reason why it's not the 22nd of November is because you change the calendar, and every 128 years, this date will move. So soon it's going to be the 6th of December, and it's going to move. And we will say less and less the Simple Motor Lebrocha as a joke, but not really a joke. I said that the global warming is a result of us saying less the Simple Motor Lebrocha for some reason that we cannot explain. I asked the question, why don't we go back to the real astronomical proof, which I don't have an answer to. But the main idea is that we follow rules. Once the rule has been set, even though that it goes against the biological or astronomical reality, we don't care. The rules remain the rule and finish. And I explain you an example to it is the rule that 72 minutes before the net is when you have to start the fasting. And it means that, in other words, it can happen clearly this connection that you can put on film already at 7:31. You will look on the calendar, and at 7:35 is the beginning of the time according to Habeber. Habeber passed it like that, by the way. Habeber told me, yeah, you can eat till 7:35. You do not have to. The calendar sometimes in the yellow paper from Pini, he also writes. He says when it's 72 minutes before. It doesn't say time, but he makes the rennet. He writes it in big letters when it's 72 minutes before, because otherwise the Mafikatas will tell him off. But in any case, that's the idea. And then also the idea that Yaakov went so many times to Esau and made this effort to get his approval is something that apparently is required before you start to build a nation. If we need approval from Esau, we need approval from the West society, and we got it. We got the country. They don't dispute anymore our existence, not the political leadership today, not. The only one that are still disputing it are the Ishmaelim. Comment? Ouais, exactement. Parce que l'UNRWA est des Arabes. Ok, mais tout le monde dit l'Israël a le droit de se défendre. Il n'y a personne qui ne met ça en cause. Au moins, ils acceptent notre existence. Wie soll ich jetzt sagen, du schreiben mehr von mir noch mehr?